Hello and welcome to WhatKeepsYouAwake.tv. It's time again to dive into the hustles, the hurdles, and the highs that keep small business leaders up at night. I'm your host, David Hooser, and I'm incredibly fortunate to welcome today's guest, Chuck Moore. Chuck has built a nationally known brand of adult beverages. You might recognize his flagship cocktail family called Choco Flaco. Chuck attributes his success to his gift of gab and not accepting no, except of course from his boss, wife Darcy.
Truth.
We all know that. Welcome, Chuck, to the show.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be on the show today.
All right, great. So let's get started.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with our foundational questions.
Okay.
So as a small business owner operator whose journey started in your kitchen, what keeps you awake late at night?
Well, Dave, I would say the most pressing issue as a small business owner is raising capital.
Yes.
I would say that's what keeps me awake at night.
Especially with my boss, Mr. Hooser, raising capital is a nonstop occurrence.
Absolutely, especially as you're scaling as fast as we are right now. As a national brand, we have two other brands besides Choco Flaco. Choco Flaco is the flagship.
Okay. And when did Choco Flaco come out?
It was 2012.
Okay. It's been
about 13 years. Yeah, about 13 years ago. It started out of my kitchen off of my NutriBullet. I would make these all-natural craft mixers, and I would take them into Dos Gringos, South Tempe, where I managed the bar.
Okay.
And was a mixologist. And
what kind of packaging did you have at that time?
Oh, it was pretty primitive. I would put them in empty milk jugs, believe it or not, and take them in, and I would serve them to the customers.
Serve them in a glass.
Oh yeah, of course,
special
from the milk jug.
Okay.
But it just kind of had a little bit of a cult following, and there was just one particular day. There was 3 sorority sisters from ASU, and they were drinking one after the other. And a gentleman behind me said, what are they drinking? And I just blurted out Choco Flaco. Choco being my nickname since my early 20s, Flaco being skinny in Spanish. Because the product's skinny. It's low calorie, low sugar. And it still is today. They're all Whole Foods compliant.
Okay. And so a natural line, and we call them adult because of alcohol content.
Yes, sir. Yep. Okay. So we have Choco Flaco, which is a spirit-based cocktail. Then we also have Elero, which is a 0.0 ABV mocktail that has the flavors of alcohol. And then we also have Elvado. And Elvado is a low-dose THC hemp-infused Delta-9 beverage, which is legal in half the states.
X number of states,
yes.
Right? Not every state. How about transportation? You have to make them in each market. You serve them. You deliver them to.
So what's unique about Elvado being a hemp-infused cocktail is it falls underneath the 2018 Farm Bill. And as long as you're under 0.3 dry weight, you're not classified as marijuana. You're classified more as a food.
Okay.
So you can go interstate with them. You can make them in Maine, and you can take them to Kentucky, for instance. That's one of our routes.
Very cool. And where are you serving the products at today? Where can we find them?
So we're in 16 states across the U.S. right now with Elvado. Choco has about 5 states. Cero is in 5 states. And then we're also on Walmart.com, which we just launched about a month ago.
Congrats. That's
all 50
awesome
states. It's doing really well.
And then what are the flavors? They're skinny by definition, but are they, like margaritas? Are they?
Yeah.
What are the type flavors you have?
So we take your cocktail, and then we make a twist on it. So we have 2 sweet heats. We have a mango pineapple habanero margarita.
Okay.
We also
have
my
favorite.
Oh, it's
anything spicy.
Absolutely. We also have a prickly pear paloma with prickly pear, grapefruit, fire roasted jalapeno, honey, and ginger.
Okay.
And then the sweets are a strawberry daiquiri with pineapple juice, fresh lime, coconut rum. And then we also have a mojito or mule, depending on which brand. And those have 4 berries, fresh mint, cucumber, and ginger beer.
And these are in the Choco Flaco.
Yes. So Choco Flaco has
all of
alcohol.
These have those flavors.
Correct.
We have a version of each flavor.
Yep. We wanted to keep it kind of simple, but yet uniform. And something unique about us is there's really no other company out there that's covering all three sectors of beverage.
Okay.
And we also still have the mixers and the Bloody Marys, the red and green.
Mixers for standard cocktails.
Yeah, those are our flagship to begin with. That's what actually got us all started.
So let's talk about your operation. So are you 100% Arizona based in production?
No, so the THC is not allowed to be made out here.
Okay.
Our co-packer is in San Diego for Choco Flaco.
Okay.
They're a very large operation. They do, all the Costco liquor, numerous other RTDs and liquor companies. And then we produce the Elvado and the Cerro in Maine currently.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yep. And then as we're scaling, we're going to be looking at New York, then Texas, and then also Colorado.
All right. Now, are you doing, so all of these are third-party
Yes.
organization
Yes,
operations?
they're all co-packers, co-mans.
Co-packers.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for the original formula, how did you come to that? Did you obviously experimented in your kitchen?
Yes,
So
and
you
they
got
still do.
something that,
Yeah.
but
If
how
it
do you
ain't broke,
go-
don't fix it.
How do you go to a more consistent formula output that's going to give you a product that everyone appreciates or recognizes with each can they open?
So I have a system, and it hasn't strayed since that 2012 day when I put those margaritas in those milk jugs. So I will create mixers. My wife will help me create those mixers. We do several iterations, and then once we feel that we have the best iteration,
Okay.
we will take that mix, put it in a mason jar. It's generally over the weekend, so we set it in the refrigerator. Come Monday, I'll go and get some dry ice. I pack it, and then I send it to a few different flavor houses that we work with.
Okay.
And then they reverse engineer what I have done.
They take
and they
it
get
and
it
reverse
close.
Okay.
They'll send me iterations via mail, just the same way. And then once I get to about 65, 70%, I'll go out for a week and I'll make them perfect.
Help them dial it in.
Yeah. And it's worked so far. We've got 53 global awards in the last 4 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we've heard about you and Darcy. Who else is on your team?
So my business partner is Steve Sislaw. He's not here today. He's in Utah with his son. His son's a national rock climber. He's competing right now.
Cool.
And so he would love to be here, obviously. But him and I are pretty much co-founders, and we work hand in hand together. We also have Jeff Fleener, who is our marketing guy. He's been with us since the beginning. And then we sub out some different some different companies like 10K. They're a national cannabis/hemp marketing firm that handles our direct to consumer. We are in talks with sales companies per state. Like we use CMC, which is it's a national sales firm out here in Arizona. We have 6 in-person sales reps in Texas, and we're getting ready to do that in Maine, Connecticut, New Jersey, Florida.
Do you have to
Kentucky.
use like here you have Southern Wine and Spirits and other like distribution companies? Do you use distribution organizations, but also have your own sales team?
Correct. So we're predominantly with Anheuser-Busch and Molson Coors for distributors all across the country.
Okay.
Texas, Louisiana, and Florida, we just switched to AB in Florida starting next week. Okay. But we do use Mexcor International, which is the largest importer of tequila in the country. And so we use them in Texas and Louisiana.
So what are some of the challenges you faced as you were coming out of your kitchen saying, hey, I want to be on shelves in 16 states and available online in all 50?
I mean, there's many.
Yeah.
There's many challenges.
What's the most memorable one that you
I would say, just finding the right co-packer at first.
Okay.
We got lucky. And
co-packer didn't make the formula.
Nope.
They simply take your final version that you collaborate with the lab that you choose to create that formula.
90% of them have been really good with us.
Okay.
The only challenge we've had was a co-packer in the Midwest. Obviously won't name their name. But they took the formulations. They didn't measure the dissolved oxygen well enough. Our dissolved oxygen is around 1.22 parts per million. these were coming in around 2.45 and 2.87.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but
No,
it's a
but
big difference.
it's an enormous amount when it comes to, the quality inside the liquid in the can. And what happens is you'll spring little pinholes, and it's a corrosive at that point, and it just destroyed about $500,000 worth of product in 22.
So it
23.
literally destroyed the can.
It destroyed
packaging
everything.
itself.
Yep, the boxes,
Wow.
the cans,
Sure.
the liquid, and so
Wow.
it set us back
Wow.
considerably for about 2 years. But during that time, that's when we came up with Elvado and Cero. So it was kind of like making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you pivoted
Well
to address an issue, and that's a lesson that I think most of our entrepreneurs in the audience need to keep in mind. Almost everyone I talked to had that kind of need to alter, maybe not radically, but at least significantly, the direction they had originally started on, the path they had started. Interesting.
Yeah, it was a tough situation, and we made the best of it. We hung in there. We have a no-fail philosophy with these companies. I mean, it's been up and down, but 13 years we've been doing this, and in the last year it scaled 16 states in 9 months.
So I noticed on your site I saw Bevmo and Total Wine.
Go Puff.
So how do you get into those? That sounds like that's a task unto itself.
So I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, and
Okay.
so I find people and they find me. And there was a gentleman by the name of Doug Fulton, and Doug reached out to me about close to about 2 years ago, and he had a business, or has a business, called Emergent Beverage. Emergent Beverage has 5 of the best when it comes to salespeople, distribution relationships, you name it. Some of these guys have owned big beverage companies as well. So their philosophy is non-alcs. So they reached out to me, we spoke to them, and we were lucky enough to come to an agreement, sign a contract with them.
Okay.
And these guys they're industry giants. So they've been helpful in getting us into Bevmo, Go Puff, Liquor Barns, Total Wine, and more across the country.
Okay.
And they're really what's helping us pioneer this new space, especially with Elvado, the hemp infused.
So there's two lessons there, like you said, is networking. Expand beyond your close circle, make sure and build a team.
Absolutely.
So that's I think 2 lessons that all of our listeners should keep in mind. Is it's a big task you take on when you start your business. How big or small you want it to be, it's still gonna do better when you surround yourself or expand your network with the right people.
You have to have thick skin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, one day you can, you find out you're getting Walmart.com, and the next day you find out your product's going bad, or it's just something like that. You just an ebb and flow, and I think you just have to have a lot of faith, a lot of grit, and you just have to hang in there.
It's an interesting analogy. I was watching a show, and they were mentioning that there are certain people, like the argument was, for example, Joe Rogan is a bridge. He brings diverse ideas together. So he'll interview someone who is conservatively, leaning politically, and someone who's more liberal in their political minds. And he's the bridge, they say. And then the argument is a bridge has to be able, ready, and willing to be stepped on, right? It's a bridge. And so, to your point, thick skin as an entrepreneur, you're gonna find obstacles that are thrown in your way every
day,
turn in your journey, and you're
something
gonna have
new every
to
day.
be ready.
Yes.
So, well, that's been. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I needed some Choco Flaco just then. I needed an open can.
It's good for
you. So any final thoughts before we sneak into maybe a deep dive into one aspect of your business?
I mean, it's not just all doom and gloom. It's fun. Every time you reach a new peak, it gives you that much more energy to continue on and fight for another day. So I mean, it's like I said, you have to have thick skin, but you have to stop and smell the roses. And
Sure.
My wife Darcy always tells me that.
Yeah,
You gotta,
that's a smart wife you
yeah.
have.
She's
That's a
always
good partner you have. So that goes back to, the second foundational question we ask is, what motivated you to sign up for these sleepless nights? So what was that one moment at the beginning of this effort that you remember that said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this business"?
other than insanity.
Because you operating from your kitchen's fine. That's
Yeah.
one thing. That's just fun. That's a hobby at that point. But to make Choco Flaco or Elvado a business, what gave you that inspiration or
I-
help you make that decision?
First of all, once I found that people liked it,
Okay.
and then I also,
So you got reinforcement at
Yeah.
Dos Gringos.
Absolutely, reinforcement, and then I think it was the desire and the will to make something healthy, and create something that's more mindful, for people. You have all these, the red dyes, and you have,
Right.
these different synthetic sweeteners, and it's just like there's other options you can use that that aren't going to give you diabetes,
Right.
or
Right.
give you cancer, potentially give you cancer. And so I think that was more of a quest for me, is to provide something for the masses that it's not harmful to you.
And about, you say the masses. So after 12 years on this journey, how many servings do you think have been consumed of your product?
Oh my gosh, I've never been asked that question before, and I honestly wouldn't know. I mean, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of cans,
Yeah.
maybe even a million. I don't know.
That's great.
But I think
That's
over
great.
the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to scale beyond we can even comprehend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. That's exciting.
Yeah. Thank you.
Exciting. Well, we'll come back and check in with you in the future and
Absolutely.
see how things are going, see how that journey is progressing.
Appreciate it.
All right. So prickly pear.
So prickly pear is going to be a spicy one.
Okay.
And then you have,
where's the habanero?
That's over back here on the other side. Here.
This one?
Yep, that's it right there.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys brought those cups, right? Or did you take?
I have cups in there too. So this one right here in 2023 won 5 global awards as the best craft canned RTD cocktail.
All right.
There you go.
So for those of you who have been watching, you've seen the product. We've been sitting next to it. We had to try it out. So here we are, enjoying the products that Chuck has brought for us today. Incredible.
Thank you.
I recommend it highly. Maybe 2.
Sure. In 2023, that actually won 5 different global awards. Most of them were Best in Show Platinums. So that was the top dog in 23. And it just won the sister company, Elvado, in 2024, won a platinum for the SIP Awards for THC cocktails too. So it's what's convenient is that all 3 of these brands have the same exact flavor profile. One has alcohol, one has THC, and one has nothing, non-infused, no alcohol.
Very cool.
Thank you.
And with that, I guess one last thing I'll have you do is what I call the shameless plug.
Oh, nice.
So go ahead and let people know. I know we've mentioned it a little bit, but how do people find you and or your product if they're interested?
I would say the best way is off of our websites. Choco Flaco is chocoflaco.com. Elevado is elevadodrinks.com. Elero is elserodrinks.com. And if you want to order direct with Walmart.com, you can go to elseromocktails.com, and they'll take you right to our site there.
And so with that, we'll end this episode. And please remember, if you enjoyed the show or you think it would benefit you or others in your network, to like or follow whatkeepsyouawake.tv, wherever you get your podcast, and tell all the entrepreneurs in your network they should tune in. So thanks again, Chuck.
Thanks, David, for having me out. Appreciate it.